What's going on, everybody? I'm back doing videos again. Sorry for the break, just kind of, well, you know what, I'm not going to get into it. Right now, we're back doing a video, taking a look at a story that was submitted to me over on the Twitters over here, revolving Jake Paul. Now, Jake Paul is a YouTuber that I've not seen any reason to cover probably since 2018. I mean, yeah, he does the boxing fights and occasionally gets into the news or whatever, but it seems like out of the two Paul brothers, the spotlight's always more on Logan because he's always doing more interesting things, but both of them are only really talked about when the boxing events occur. They're not really the center of attention on YouTube anymore like they used to be. However, this was submitted to me, so I thought I'd take a look at this. This is Jake Paul called out over his comments about anxiety. Now, every time a YouTuber talks about things that are as serious as anxiety, depression, just serious topics in general like politics or whatever, they usually get themselves into a situation where it's impossible for them to win. They'll talk about something they're totally not equipped to talk about, they'll end up saying something stupid, and then the entire internet just clowns on them and cancels them, and they just get themselves involved in just a disaster that totally did not need to happen. But I'm curious though, is this a case of people just, you know, grabbing the pitchforks, trying to cancel a guy, or did he really say something regrettable here? Well, let's take a look. This was apparently such big news that they made a whole Twitter moment out of this. The YouTuber turned boxer claimed in a now deleted post that people had the power to cure anxiety themselves. He later accused people of clowning his comments and claimed to be spreading awareness about the issue. Well, let's take a look at this Newsweek article here. YouTuber Jake Paul criticized for tweeting, "Anxiety is created by you." Let's take a look. Jake Paul is facing criticism after an apparent motivational Twitter message in which he tweeted, "Anxiety is created by you," appeared to backfire on Monday. Jake Paul wrote on Monday, "Remember, anxiety is created by you. Sometimes you gotta let life play out and remind yourself to be happy and that the answers will come." The tweet, which since appeared to have been deleted, continued, "Show your mind out, go for a walk, talk to a friend." Now we see here this person on Twitter making a sarcastic joke here. Cameron Dallas cured my depression. Jake Paul cured my anxiety. Who needs mental health specialists when you have these educated idols? Obviously a sarcastic tone here. And she shows the tweets here in question, or rather the tweet itself, which of course is now deleted. Now, I gotta be honest with you, after reading this, I really don't have much of an issue with this. And I know that might be a hot take, let me clarify that. I think the only real problem with this tweet is really the beginning. Jake Paul says anxiety is created by you. I don't think that's technically true, but I understand the point he's sort of making here. He's basically saying, look guys, a lot of the feelings of depression or sadness you might feel might just be you taking something and blowing it out of proportion, which on the surface level, that sounds kind of insensitive, right? I mean, that sounds like you're just demeaning, you know, somebody's like real issues that they have to deal with every day. But I find myself noticing this a lot when I take a look at people around me, both in the real world and on the internet. I find a lot of people who really like, they have something going on or something, but they exacerbate it to a whole other level that just really doesn't need to happen. Obviously, if you mention specifics, you know, you never know what's going on inside a person. You never know, like, what's actually going on. Maybe there are other factors we don't know about that's adding to whatever's going on. But I gotta be real for a moment. A lot of people in today's day and age really overblow what's going on. And I think a large part of that is due to how society today almost glorifies it indirectly. And let me explain that. I find a lot of people are put on a pedestal immediately when they talk about or when they open up about their issues. And as a result, it almost makes it like cool to talk about these types of things and almost cool to be depressed or have anxiety. Like just because you get a little sad from time to time doesn't mean you have anxiety, obviously, but I feel like people almost want to surround themselves with this sort of idea that they have something that's more severe than what's actually going down to get brownie points, basically. Whether that be clout on the internet or just virtue points IRL or something like that. Like, I'll tell you like a personal example or something. I remember I was in like freshman year of high school or whatever, and I was just talking casually with a friend of mine, and around the time I was feeling just a little bit anxious about something. I forget what exactly it was, but I was talking to this friend who legitimately suffered from, you know, real, actual depression and anxiety, like it was diagnosed. And I was like, yeah, dude, anxiety sucks. And they were telling me, they kind of snapped me out of it. They were like, look, you don't have it. You know, like, it wasn't like that abrasive, you know, I'm making it sound like this person was being a dick. They were being real about it. They were just saying like, look, there's a difference between occasionally feeling a certain way and actually having diagnosed issues that need to be medicated, that need to be dealt with by a real licensed therapist. You know, there's a whole level of separation between the two. And I thought that night, and I was like, you know what, you're right. You know, like, why was I so quick to just say, like, yeah, anxiety, implying like I had an issue? And I thought about it, and I realized, you know, it's because in today's day and age, in today's culture, like, everybody's got to be dealing with something. Otherwise, it's as if you aren't cool. It's as if you aren't in with the crowd. And I hope I don't come off as, like, insensitive just by talking about this. But, you know, all that to say, I don't necessarily disagree with the tone of this message. I think the wording of it is the problem here in this first line. Saying anxiety is created by you. Well, that does demean it in a way. That does minimalize the issue here. And I think that's exactly why he got a bunch of backfire that he really should have seen coming, you know? I get the message, but the wording, the actual output, what you're actually saying wasn't the best delivery, and that's why the internet came and decided to tear this guy apart. Now, do I care? No, I don't care at all. I mean, this guy's just some random guy on the internet. He could say whatever insensitive thing he wanted to say, and it wouldn't matter to me because my life doesn't revolve around what other people online are talking about. If somebody says something horribly, like, crazy or whatever, that doesn't change anything for me. But I understand why there's a mob. That's why when I say certain things, I go, you know, I take the extra mile to word things exactly in the way I mean them to avoid backlash online, because once the mob comes for you, they really do come for you. But no, this is like basic advice, you know, go for a walk, talk to friends, you know, that's good advice. I mean, I try to take a physical walk every day. I don't always do that, but it is a good idea just to clear your mind in general, whether you have anxiety or whether you have depression or not. Yeah, I don't find too much of a problem with this tweet here, other than the wording at the top. The article goes on to say, the message quickly earned scorn and ridicule, with Twitter users calling Paul out over insensitive advice on a complex mental health issue. All of us are getting cured for our anxiety disorders from Jake Paul's tweet tonight. Honestly, a revolutionary moment, wrote one person. I believe that was Taylor Nicole Dean here. Okay, come on now. Like Jake Paul's not, you know, he didn't make this tweet, you know, attempting to cure everybody's anxiety. Maybe he had bad intentions when he wrote this, but I don't think that he meant to cure your advice. I think you're kind of strawmanning him a bit here. I don't think these people are being entirely honest. I think, you know, again, it's Jake Paul. He's an easy guy to go against. It's anxiety, depression, an easy topic to rally and champion for. I think these people aren't necessarily being the most honest here when they're going at Jake Paul. Here's another person on Twitter. Me. Oh no, why is Jake Paul trending on Twitter? What insensitive shit did he do now? Jake Paul. Anxiety is created by you. Me. I'm a head out. And yeah, that's exactly, you know, it's that first line that really ate him. You know, if he had just worded it in a better way, nobody would really care. Here's somebody on Twitter. I really can't believe in 2020 we have Jake Paul of all people telling the masses that mental illness isn't real. I need a nap. I don't know if that's necessarily what he was implying by this, but I can see by, you know, the wording how you would come to that conclusion. I don't know if that's really what he was saying. I mean, everybody knows mental illness is a real thing. Come on now. We're in 2020. I don't mean to current year you guys, but I mean, for real. I mean, it just seems weird that a mainstream, you know, YouTube celebrity would just go out and be like, yeah, mental illness, it's not real. Come on. What are you, sad? Just be happy, lol. You know, I don't think that's what's really going on here. Here's another one. If Jake Paul and my anxiety were drowning and I could only save one, I'd save Jake Paul because my anxiety is all in my head and I can just go outside and take a walk. Oh, man. Here's another one. The world, after seeing Jake Paul's recent tweets, anxiety rate drops to 0%. Now, of course, you know, he had to respond to this. He said, everyone clowning my tweet, but it's now spreading more awareness about anxiety, which I didn't even know was a thing till I was 18. You didn't know anxiety was a thing till you're 18? Jesus, what a sheltered lifestyle you got there. But had it my whole life and never knew how to deal with it. If you think you have it or want to deal with it, try reading this. And he links an article by Healthline saying, how to cope with anxiety, 11 simple ways, and when to see a doctor. I love this guy. Okay, now he's being an asshole, alright? You know, I was trying to stick up for him, but now he's just being a dick. He's like, everyone clowning on my tweet, joke's on you, I'm the one who's spreading awareness. I'm the one who's doing the good deed over here. You guys are clowning on me, but joke's on you. I had depression. I didn't know what it was till I was 18, but I had depression and I had it my whole life. So I'm actually spreading awareness and you guys got dissed over here. This guy is just such a dick. But I mean, what do you expect from Jake Paul? What do you expect from any of these social media people? If you're going online looking for these people to give you advice on real world issues, you know, real serious topics like anxiety, mental health, depression, even other things like politics or real world issues. If you're going to Jake Paul for this type of advice, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe not the best avenue to go down. But is it really worth canceling this guy for? I don't really see the issue here. It seems like people are really quick to just stand on mental health and also really shit on Jake Paul because he's not the most likable guy on the internet, to say the least. But I don't really care. Anyway, that's my take on this issue. It was sent to me. If you want to send me more topics, you can tweet them to me at AugieRFC on Twitter. Other than that, I hope I didn't piss off the crowd. I hope they're not coming for me next. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, you found it informative, you found it interesting. And I will talk to you guys tonight on stream. Other than that, talk to you guys later. Peace out.